Hey, it's Tpok. I am in Analogue, a hate story. I know this is an English-made game, so I don't know why there's a Korean on the top. What? Oh well. All I know about this is it's somewhat a sequel to Digital: A Love Story, so I know nothing else about this. So I guess let's just get started. Oh, I need to be connected to the internet for this? Notice the system is properly Unified Korea Space Probe Agency, accessed by an individual not affiliated with UKSPA or a successor organization is a felony under the UKSPA Act of 2381. So this is the feature. Last login user Kim Hyun-ai. I think it's Hyun-ai. What? 221,432 days ago. Error. AI personality currently disabled. Reverting to command line. Available commands. Download disable _AI. Enable AI. Help Sue quit. Download Sue. Provide. That was the password? Password. UKSPA. What's my password? Download Sue. Help. Enable AI. Used to select a new AI personality. Any active personality must be disabled first. Currently available personalities. Okay. Select. Oops, select. Help. Down. Oh, so download. Sue. Disable AI. Oh my gosh. Enable AI. Oh, so I go enable AI. Hyun-ai. Quit. Oh, hello. Hello? Do I? Oh my word, an external connection. Is someone out there? It's been so many years since I've spoken to anyone. Oh geez, I'm being discourteous. My apologies. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Hyun-ai. The star is, of course, silent. It just represents that I'm an AI, just like in the last game. I control all the log-keeping systems on the Mugunghwa, or at least what's left of them. Please, just excuse me for 1 second. I'll give you a terminal so you can respond. There you are. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Hi. I'm Tpok. Okay. Oh dear. Sorry, can you try that again? Hello. Jeez, my apologies. I don't know why, but what you typed just looked like garbage to me. That's bad. I think there may be a problem with my language parsing systems. Sorry, somehow your input is getting mangled between the terminal and me. I'm so terribly sorry. Let me just try something. Can you understand this? Yes. Alright. Can you just click again to confirm you can understand what I'm saying to you? I do understand. Very well, we have that at least. I'm afraid if we can't get text input fixed, that'll have to suffice. I'm terribly sorry. It must be difficult being unable to say anything. This might be difficult then. Well, nevertheless, as the archive system AI, I'll do my best to try and help you navigate these records anyway. Unfortunately, it might be a little difficult since, well, without language parsing, you won't be able to do text searches either. Don't worry though, it's my duty to provide assistance with archive functions. I'll do my best. Right, let me see. I'll try to provide you with a sampling of logs to start you out with. And you can just show me things you want more information on. I hope that'll be acceptable to you. That's all I can do. Well, that's all I suppose, pardon me. Let me just build you an interface to work with so you don't have to struggle with the terminal. Very well, it's all set. And I suppose this is a little bit awkward, but can I say one more thing before you get to work? Yeah? I'm just very happy to be working with you. I've had nobody to talk to for such a long time, it got so lonely. Having someone to talk to is just really amazing. I thought maybe I never would again. Sorry about the communication barrier, but even still. Ah, jeez, I'm babbling. I won't hold you up any longer. Here's your interface. Hope it's good enough. Oh, okay. This is kind of cool. Access log documents. Block 4. A pack of idiots. When our family falls into decline, I just wanted to be perfectly clear why. It's because Dai-Hyun's sons are the biggest collection of idiots on the entire ship. Father says these sorts of words shouldn't be written down, calling them unfilial, but I'm skeptical. I intend no disrespect to my noble ancestors. But my dead uncle is no ancestor of mine, and his family deserves no respect. Wait, year 315? This has been in motion for years now. It was an inevitability even that any sons of Dai-Hyun would turn out the way they did. But up until now, anyone outside of the family, it's just been well hidden. Only now it's starting to fall apart in a way that no good amount of good politics can disguise. The turning point was this year. At the time I write this, I am returning from Sang-Jung's funeral. In that family there are 3 brothers, Sang-Yoon, the drunk. Oh, that's his name, Sang-Yoon. I think it's not Jung, but Yoon? Or Jung? I don't know. I don't know Korean. Sorry. Sang-Kyu, the dim-witted brute, and Sang-Min, who, despite being the eldest, seems to have more interest in cavorting with the courtesans than creating an heir. Noticeably absent from the morning proceedings was Sang-Kyu. What he was doing I do not know. Knowing him, I can only guess. Oh, that was the brute. I have no idea what he'd be doing. The affair was made even more laughable by Sang-Min and his widowed mother's insistence that Sang-Yoon had died of natural causes. Apparently they'd even found a doctor willing to put such nonsense on the official record. An unmarried noble managing to drink his way to the grave at only 30 years of age would be embarrassing enough. To brazenly try and hide the obvious, however, that will mark the beginning of the Smith family's fall. Okay. Oh, pronunciation. Hyun A. Okay, it's Hyun A. J or CH at the start, so it's Sang-Chung. Okay, that's neat. That's cool. I like that. And then Kim family tree. So Chung Su's father. someone else, like Changsu and Yongsuk. Io was you, right? I don't remember. Don't list women normally. Wives are noted by their family names, and daughters are omitted entirely. That's misogynistic. Oh. I thought that was a home screen. I'm sorry. Oh, hello. Actually, I was just testing that indicator icon to see if I'd get your attention. I just thought it'd be a good way of letting you know when I have something to say. I mean, like, if I think it's super important, I can always just interrupt you, but I don't want to distract you if I can help it. I mean, that sucks, right? What kind of computer program forces herself onto you right in the middle of you trying to work? Haha, so I'll try not to do that. Anyway, that's all. I guess it worked. Carry on and I'll set the indicator again if I want to tell you something. So here's the background, I suppose. There are two major noble families on the Mugunghwa. The Kims were the big one, as I'm sure you can see. The Smiths were the other major family, but I'm afraid I can't really tell you very much about them. They were the most important family on the ship until just before the end. The High Magistrate was a Smith until the very last year even. I can give you a little bit about them for reference, so you can see who the Kim men thought their big enemy was. The Smiths didn't really matter very much at the end, so I don't know much about them. I certainly never met any of them, so I'm just going off what I've read. Here, this should give you an idea of what I mean. Guys, I'm gonna pause it for a sec and just fix this, because for some reason my frames are really low. Like, I was running it before and it was like 200 frames. Hit the record button and it's 19. So I'm gonna try and fix this, and yeah, back in a bit. So, fixed it. Now it's at 20 frames, I guess. I don't know. It's not wanting to go faster. Okay, oh well. So far there's not much animation, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. When our family falls into decline, I just wanted to be perfectly clear why. It's because the Daehyun sons are the biggest collections of idiots in there. Oh wait, I read this. So how do I go? Oh, she wants to talk. I'm gonna speak to you. If you look in your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button to show me whatever it is. So which subject do you want to know more about? I don't know. What is this? Oh. Despite having hardly shown their faces in the entire time I've lived in the Smith house, the second branch of the family has taken it upon themselves to visit again, a week after we were forced to endure their smug eye-rolling at the funeral. Of course, it would be impolite to turn them all away at the door, so no matter how poor taste their timing was, so what other choice did we have but to let them in? Husband wanted to have nothing to do with them, being distracted by Changmi, and mother-in-law had been hiding in her room, leaving it to me to entertain them. Of course, as soon as I had sent their son to go see our daughter, cousin-in-law Kyung-sam made it quite clear that it was not that sort of visit. His wife just sat there silent while he ripped into me. I couldn't write down all his words, it was simply one line of abuse after another. Apparently we were to be blamed for Sankyu leaving before they showed up, for wearing the wrong mourning garb, for my husband's shocked reaction at his brother's death. In fact, we were to be blamed for his death itself. All they kept shouting about was how embarrassing for the family it was that a noble man of the Smith house had been allowed to drink himself to death. As if the real tragedy was it looked bad. I might not have felt bad about Sang-chung dying, but the rest of the family did. To hear such words making light of their loss was appalling. Yet he kept going, shouting awful thing after awful thing, until finally the most unexpected thing happened. Mother-in-law entered the room. "What is going on here?" she asked. He stood up. "I was just passing on a message to son's wife about his disgraceful conduct, since he won't show his face himself." Then he added, "Oh, excuse me, something stuck in my throat. I'm embarrassed to be a Smith right now. Do you think people don't know about our family's shame? Do you have any idea how much of a fool I look like?" I never saw a more terrifying expression in someone's face. She just glared at him. Finally, she said, "Yes, but you clearly do not, or you would have lowered your voice." It took him a moment for that to register, then he was just shocked. But mother-in-law wasn't done. "Please leave. Now." They stared at each other for a good while. Mother-in-law naturally won, and with a scowl, Kyung-sam and his family departed. When they had left, I turned to her. "Thank you," I said, but she just shook her head in disgust and exited to her own room without another word. Oh, you have something to say? I wish that would, like, flash or something. Oh, hi, Kite. If you look at in your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button to show me whatever it is. So, which subject do you wish to know more about? I was gonna say, I thought I heard that. Whoa, sorry, you've heard that already, right? I think I just repeated myself there. Sorry, I kind of tend to do that. That's the problem with computers. They tend to respond in the same way to things. I'm sorry, I'm afraid I can't help it. I won't mention it again, but well, here, let me change something to try and make things less confusing for you. If the Speak to Me menu item or the Show Message button is grayed out, that means I will have nothing new for you. Hopefully it will help. Otherwise, it's just a weird quirk you'll have to accept. Sorry. Okay, so... Is that grayed out? I don't know. I'm gonna show you this. Sorry, I don't really think there's anything else about them you'd find relevant. Okay. Well, what do you want to talk about then? If you look in your interface, once you open a document, you can click on that little button to show me whatever it is. So which subject do you wish to know more about? Really? Okay. By example is next. This is a lot of reading. Oh my gosh. I've given up on any attempts at convincing the main branch family to get their act together, as clearly speaking reason to any of that pack of idiots is a fool's errand. Now I can only hope that their self-destruction is quick, such that when it's my son's turn to pick up the pieces as soon as the Smith name's reputation, he will be able to do so as soon as possible. He seems far, far less worried about it than I am. Of course he is only a child, but the boy is mature for his years, and perhaps there is wisdom in his calmness. All we have to do is be better than them, right? He asked me while I was in a rage about the handling of the funeral. Isn't that what gentlemen do? Lead by example? He is right, of course. As a noble family, we're supposed to be an example to the middle class, and the commoners, and the slaves. There are slaves? Oh, it's year 315. Perhaps so too must we serve as an example to the family of the High Magistrate and his brother. Perhaps things will not be so doomed for my son after all. It will be hard for him, of course, but if the main branch family continues on this path of decay. But if any boy will grow up to be able to put things right, I believe it is him. Do you want to talk about this? No. That's perfectly fine, Hyune. Here comes the fall. At least nobody's gonna say I didn't see this coming. News that Sangmin had gotten sacked just came in. It's definitely the death of any respectability in his family. Temporary leave, it's been described as. But obviously it's a political move on the part of the Emperor. I think I've got a pretty good idea of what he's playing at too. He's hoping that making a move against Songmin will push him over the edge, making him do something indefensibly stupid, and use that excuse as an excuse. And use that as an excuse to shuffle him off for good. It's a good plan. It'll work. Meanwhile, the Kim family seems to be up on the rise, getting ready to fill the gaps left by our collapse. Now it's all up to my son. If he's not able to rebuild all of this, then the whole family's doomed to permanent decline. Everything rides on him. So when 315, 315, 315, 322. And that was everything in block 4, I believe. Okay, so I'm missing stuff. Helpful notes. Let's just check these out, see what they're about. Notes on pronunciation. Oh, I saw this. G or K, B or P. I knew this B or P thing about Korean. EO is cut, ut. And EU is oo. So, young? I saw someone who was Y-E-O-N-G. That would be ut, young. E is pet, so a, o, core, e, oo, rule, and then I'm gonna be so bad at this. I will be looking at this a lot. A cliche to remember. Namjoon Yubby. Men are honored, women are abased. If you can only remember one thing, remember this phrase. That's... Well, I don't want to remember that. That's not nice. And that's the family tree. And I saw all of those. Oh, she has something to talk about? Maybe? Oh, okay, she's got nothing to say. Dear Smith. I don't know why you insist on putting all this in writing when we could just have a perfectly good conversation. Ugh. Excuse me. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm happy to do it, whatever you want, you're the man. I just think it's a little weird, don't really get it. I'm gonna be back in a second. Hey, sorry about that. Anyway, as to your question, you're spot on about the pale bride being the focus of attention in the royal family. Not for the reasons you wanted, though. I don't know where you heard those rumors, but they are so not true. That girl a troublemaker? Oh, Mute is an AI. What? It's 321. Here's 321. How did they have an AI? No way, I don't see it. Like, it's not even convincing as a rumor. That girl is the most polite, most obedient person I've seen in my entire life. The idea of her fighting with her husband is completely unimaginable. In over a month, I've never so much as heard her raise her voice in disagreement. She's quiet, courteous, and does everything she's told without even the slightest hesitation. I'm sorry, but there's just no way you could possibly exploit any drama here. This is as undramatic a situation as it gets. Especially not compared to what the situation with your cousin and that courtesan. Don't get me wrong. She begs the hell out of me. The girl is just too perfect. She's young, she's beautiful, she's demure to the point where I don't even think she has a personality of her own. But she gets along perfectly with the queen. Of course, she commands all the attention of the emperor. Like, can you blame him? I'm sorry. But there's no way she's ever going to be anything but extremely grateful to the Kim family for giving her over. I'm out of breath. I don't know why. Oh my gosh. New stuff, still. 4 pages! When he died this year, my father was an absolute nobody. I didn't say this to disrespect his honor. It's the complete opposite. He knew it, and that was a far worse fate than he ever deserved. It wasn't until I was maybe 16 that I even realized we were supposed to be from a noble family. Certainly we had never much means. Father was a minor official in the interior desks and spent his last days dealing with minor peasant disputes. Of all the things, peasant disputes. With the poverty we lived in, no wonder it never really sank in that we were the first of noble blood. Not until I met the main family for the first time. Oh, I hit the spacebar. Okay. I don't know, I don't think you'll find them really very interesting, but here you can see for yourself. I hit the spacebar to see if I could zoom forward, but no. They were proud, despite the fact that I now realized they too were suffering from our same lack of royal favor. But I could tell the difference. They hadn't given up. Their son was still alive at that time, and even though he was a child half my age, I couldn't believe his confidence. It put us to shame. Absolutely put us to shame. So this is Young Suk. Young Suk? I think I gotta be saying that wrong, because that does not sound right. But their son died later that year, and my father died just a few months ago. I didn't know what we were going to do, but mother managed to convince sister's husband to adopt me into the main Kim family. I don't think it took much. So now I'm heir, just like that. Kim Chung-soo's adopted son. Now that I have the time or position to be proud, but having spoken sincerely with my new father, I think we're on the same page. I'm going to study furiously, and I'm going to become a scholar official. What I didn't tell him was my ambition. I won't settle for any peasant jobs. I'll be better than that. I'm not going to stop until I manage to fulfill my father's dream. High magistrate. I won't settle. I will not settle. I think Chung-soo expects me to disappoint him, but I damn well will not. If I'm heir of the Kim family, I'm not going to let him down. He wants prosperity, I'll give it to him. More importantly, I'm never going to let any other Kim son feel like his family doesn't get the recognition it deserves. Never again. I swear on my ancestors, never again. And you said nothing about this? Huh, I suppose you did find him interesting. Well, I don't think there's really anything else you would find relevant. Okay. Hyune. Don't be mean like that. Oh my gosh, why are there more? Oh my gosh. Dearest mother, finally I believe young Suk has been... Okay. EO cut suck. It's suck. What? That doesn't sound right. Young Suk. Young Suk does not sound appropriate. Has grown comfortable with me. All it took was some time for me to earn his trust. Learning how to read by watching over my husband's shoulder isn't how I envision spending my first year of marriage. Can't complain about anything that makes me spend so much time with him, though. We've talked and decided we won't try for a son right away. Right now, he's just not ready for it. That aside, things are good. If this is what married life is like, I think I can be happy with this. We're getting along well, and I like him. Perhaps it's not quite what I was led to expect, but it's still good. Domestic bliss indeed. Last week, young Suk was reading over some papers for a dispute that Magistrate Park was deciding on. You wouldn't understand the details, but it was essentially an argument between a farmer and his lord over a sum of money over a particularly poor harvest. I think I will tell the magistrate that the farmer is right. His claim is fair, he told me. Might I take a look? I asked, bemused, and he handed the papers to me. It took a good while of studying, to be sure. After all, I wouldn't want to contradict my husband if he was right. But the farmer's numbers didn't seem to add up. I pointed this out to him. He not only listened patiently, but had me explain. Then you believe this farmer is trying to cheat his lord? He asked. I did. That's what I will report then. The next day he told me that the magistrate agreed. Ever since then he had started to rely on my opinion when it comes to anything involving math. Okay. Do the math yourself. Kite, you're playing a lot of games. New friendship. Part 7. Oh my god. I want to talk to Hugh and A. Well, it's true that I might be, as my wife suggests, alarmingly serious. It's hard to argue with enjoying a nice meal out of it means cultivating Magistrate Park trust even more. Just having the invitation alone's a pretty good sign. I assumed we would be going to this house after finishing with the day's affairs, but instead he led the other way. Oh, you do not want to visit there. My son has a newborn child who is very, very unconductive to entertaining guests, I'm afraid, he said with a laugh. Surely you'll understand. Instead, we headed to the plaza. Outside of New York's festivals, outside of the occasional New Year's festivals when I was a child, I'd never actually been there before. I never had much of an eye for details at the time, so I was surprised to see now just how richly decorated everything was. For what essentially was a giant market. Beautiful floral arrangements adorned every stall, wall, and partition. And rather than the commotion of a crowd, all I could hear was the sound of peaceful music. It was still, of course, a market. There were no more merchants loudly hawking wares, and some prices on signs I saw would make the emperor blush. In that atmosphere, we ate together at a public house that defied my expectations. The food was both plentiful and far better than anything I'd ever had in either of my houses. If this sounds indulgent, it absolutely is, and I definitely don't plan on telling anyone the details like this. The only thing I plan to repeat from this evening is what the magistrate confided in me, that when he was moved from his position, he'd like to recommend me to fill his place. I'd be young for the position, but it would be a great stepping stone to the one I'm dreaming of. I remain calm since I'm good at that, but it's the best news I've heard in my life. Well, good for you, man. She has nothing to say. Oh, I only have 2 left. Okay. Dearest mother, if you haven't already heard the good news, my husband has been appointed by the emperor to the position of magistrate. He's taken over the office for magistrate starting today, which is just tremendous for a man his age. I've no doubt he was perfectly humble when he got the news, since he certainly has been while talking about it in front of father-in-law. In private, though, it's another story. Earlier, the family held a small feast to celebrate the news, and he had the same attitude then, too. But afterwards, when everyone else had left or gone to bed, we stayed up to sit together drinking wine, and it was a whole lot more somber. He wasn't modest, but he wasn't boastful, either. He was just outright insecure. He might not say it in front of you, but you know what, he said to me, as I poured him more wine. He takes all the credit for my promotion. According to him, it's all because the Emperor's perfect new bride, which is, of course, all because of him. I said quietly, I don't want to take credit for her. No, I wasn't the one who got her to shut up. That was all him. I don't like discussing it, and please, mother, don't ever ask me why. Doesn't matter, he said. That's not why I got promoted. I got promoted because now High Magistrate Park, and I managed to make Smith look so bad he had to get shuffled off. It's exposing the whoring and thuggery that did it, not the damn pale bride, he said with annoyance. Well, that's how he is. You know he'll never give you credit for anything, I said. He replied, I know, I just wish he'd acknowledge it. I just don't know how he can be so stupid as to not be proud of me, you know? I know, I said, but let's not focus on that right now. I think we should focus on the good right now. How about we toast to your success instead? Here's to the new magistrate Kim. I raised my glass and drank. He betrayed the faintest of smiles, but he didn't share my toast and instead put down his glass. For a moment I was worried, but then he used that hand to grab my chin instead and for the first time ever kissed me on the mouth. Far sweeter than any wine, he said to me. I wasn't sure if he meant the kiss or the success, but I agreed either way. Wait, that's the first time he kissed you? That's... I thought you were trying for a kid. That's... okay. Should have one more. Marital Admonitions, Part 7 by Ryu Jaehwa. To the woman who will marry my husband, but please do not think of this, that all of this is meant to say you will be unloved. You may be a second wife, but you are still the daughter of a noble house, and that is a precious gift to the Ryu family. My husband has faith that you will bring him a son, and this means all the world to him. Nor am I jealous, for you will relieve a heavy burden on our house. For that I am grateful. As proof of his affection for you, let me share with you one secret, which I have permitted to only tell you. In honor of you, my husband, in his capacity as captain and emperor, has permanently changed his admin password to your birth name. My new sister, you will be brought into the Ryu family not as a mere lowly woman, but as a symbol of power in the inner chambers. You will not only represent the continuation of the Ryu bloodline by providing him a son, but your very name will represent the power of the captain's computer. Understand this, pale bride. Your duty may be great, but you will be loved. Okay. I read all my messages. Hey, she's got... Let's talk. Hey. I just wanted to say, thanks for paying attention to me. It's like I was saying earlier, I just haven't had anyone to talk to in so long. The last time there was anyone around on the ship was the year 322. But my count is now 944. I mean, do you have any idea how long that is? It wasn't really so bad at first. It was nice not to have to worry about anyone telling me what to do. I could just occupy myself, go through the old logs. But, well, I read quickly. After the first few years, I really started to sink in the loneliness. Eventually, sort of get used to it. It feels awful. You never like it, but you get used to it. In ways that sort of scare you. That was a whole 100 years that went by where I didn't have a single thought. Not one. I just sat there idle. I didn't even notice. I had been feeling particularly, what's the word? Sleepy, I want to say, but that's not right. I guess maybe that doesn't translate. Anyway, the point is, I was in a lazy mood, so I decided to call my clock subroutine, and it turned out it had been 3 trillion milliseconds since the last time I called it. Scary. Jeez, I'm rambling. Sorry, as you can understand, my perception of time is all off. Sorry, I'll shut up. But my point is, I'm really happy to have someone out there. Well, you're welcome. Do I have more documents? No. What did I do? Use override terminal. Oh, this is weird. Oh. Oh. Wait, okay. I gotta find the name of the Pale Bride, which I have forgotten. So. I don't know if it was in block 4. Let's see. Oh, maybe I should just check the tree. Oh no, women are on the tree, right? Oh, there are people. Oh, I filled them in. Pale Bride. 321. Ah. So I gotta find a timeline. 321. I don't have info on that, right? No. So it's gotta be in a different block. Maybe. Let's show it to her. Written by Mute. Whoops. I'm sorry, I don't really know how that got in there. Yeah, don't pay attention to that. Sorry, none of that really matters. Just go ahead and remove that. Really, I'm not normally this much of a klutz, I swear. Okay, that's kind of weird. Oh, it's gone now. Okay. New friendship. Is that right? No? What is the name of the Pale Bride? So the password is her name. How do I? Oh, maybe I'll just show it to her. And she'll be like, oh, the password is blah blah blah. Of course, the last person to hold the titles Captain and Emperor on the ship was Ryu Inho. Which of Captain's wives do you wish to know more about? The Pale Bride. Very well, she wrote a lot, so this is going to be tricky to filter. I guess I'll just start at the top and I'll let you figure out what's important. Oh geez, not more. Wait. Huh? Home. Oh jeez. Oh. I'm gonna speak to her first. You're trying to find out more about the Pale Bride, right? You should try showing me from a message from the person you'd like to read more entries by. Okay. Well guys, I'll do that next time, but so far, I like this game. It's a lot like Digital, except I think this is more organized, I guess, kind of in a way. And I like how I can talk to Hune. That's nice. And then I got a lot of messages to read, but anyways guys, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.